there everybody, my name is Bloomer and welcome back to Surviving Mars. And things seem to be doing a little better than they were at the start of the last episode. Our little dome is under construction, and in fact it's actually almost complete. We can see our little worker drones feverishly gathering up metals from the surface. I actually thought that I was going to have to send back to Earth with one of the rockets, or actually get one of the other ones out here, because I was worried, of course, about polymers, although we do have 6 polymers left. I know that polymers are required for the dome, and they're probably required for maintenance as well. So it's going to be a case that we're probably going to need to get a polymer factory up and running, though I don't know if we need colonists to actually run that. And there we go. Construction progress is at 100%, and we have achieved a milestone. So colonists live in residential buildings within the domes. The basic residential building is called living quarters, surprisingly enough. So there it is, our first dome. And oh yes, we can of course hide and reveal the dome structure there, which is kind of impressive. We're going to take it off for now. So inside the domes, we're going to need to build obviously some living quarters and a couple of other things just to get this dome up and running for the very first arrivals out to the red planet. So we are of course probably going to start with the living quarters, and we're going to pop those over there. I don't actually know. It's mostly concrete that we need for this, and I think it's hopefully going to be mostly concrete for everything we need, because concrete is one thing we do have quite a lot of at the moment, or at least we have easy access to it. Metals I suppose we're pretty good on as well, but as far as polymers and electronics and things like that, we are going to be struggling for a little while bringing them out from Earth. I know that we can build those factories, and we'll probably do that. Let's see what else we might like to put in here. An open air gym. Visitors recover a small amount of health and may become fit. Services the exercise. Social. Service comfort. Casino complex, we're not going to need that straight away. Security station, our colony's tiny, we're not going to need that either. A grocer would be useful, but even more useful, if I could find it, is a farm. In order for us to be able to produce food, though it may be a case that we, oh no, here we go, garden lake. And is a stone garden fountain statue. Small garden. Vegetation. I think these are all just ornamental gardens. I'm not entirely sure where we are. Perhaps. Is it under life support? No. I'm going to have a mess around and try and see if I can find where we can get our farms from. No, it seems that I don't have access to any of these at the moment. Storage, life support. We do have a hydroponics farm, and I think that is what we are going to have to use to construct, or rather to get our food up and running for our very first colonists. We may as well just stick one of those there. I'm not sure how many of them we're going to need, though I assume that one is probably going to be enough for. Produces food, consumes water, depending on crop type. Okay, so that probably means that depending on what we're growing in there, we are going to need more or less water. It's going to consume electricity, maintenance, and we are going to need, of course, workers. And how many workers can this actually hold? Let's see if we can get the stats up here and have a look. 14, okay, so we can have 14 colonists. We're also going to need, I think, a grocer or a restaurant or something like that in order to dispense the food. Distributes hot meals, fresh produce, serves food and shopping. A diner serves the finest dishes on Mars, now featuring non-plastic tableware. Dining social food. So this gives us... it does require 6 workers, whereas this requires only 3. So we'll probably end up going for the grocer. For now, we may as well put it pretty close to the centre of town there. Let's actually have water reclamation system. Oh yes, we unlocked that earlier. No, we didn't. I think we may actually be researching that. Let me see if I can remember the controls to check out on our research. Of course, it's down here, yeah. We don't have to have controls at all. Low G hydrosynthesis, no. Water reclamation. So we can actually boost this up to the top, which is control click, I believe. Yes, and that pops it in there as first. So that will mean that we'll be able to, I'm assuming, gather water out of the dome's atmosphere and use it and sort of recycle it rather than letting it accumulate or be scrubbed out of the air system. I'm guessing that it's going to gather the moisture vapor out of the dome itself, and that'll be kind of useful to have in there, especially while we're just starting out. We may as well increase time a little bit as well to get things running. I had it set on pretty slow when I was setting things up. So let's see what else we need to get set up inside our little dome before we send out for our first colonist. I think we're going to need some kind. Should we bring a research lab which generates research? So there's an icon there that I'm not entirely sure about. Electronics. So we'll probably need to build an electronics factory and a polymers factory as well on the surface before. Consumption that consumes electronics. We don't want to put that in just yet. We do need something a little bit more recreational. Recover health and sanity as long as they are not starving, dehydrated, freezing, or suffocating. At home with a medical building, an order minimum comfort requirement for births, services, medical checks. So it only needs 15 concrete. I think we're going to build ourselves a little medical center right here on the surface of Mars. Of course, we don't want any of our colonists becoming ill or anything like that. And we may as well give them a little bit of a view. There's probably not too much of a view out in that direction. Yeah, I think something like that. And as the patients sit in the back rooms of the hospital, they will be able to gaze out on the surface of Mars, which is probably going to get heavily industrialized over there as time goes on. Seems like we're missing workers here. Of course we're missing workers yet, since our little colonists haven't arrived yet. We are drones. Controls, different tasks. What's going on here? We're missing power. Why are we missing power? We should have tons of power. Batteries are completely depleted. I think that power storage, okay, oxygen, okay. Power production is 16. Power demand is now up to 43 with the dome. That is a thing that I wasn't exactly foreseeing. So our drones are probably going to sit dumbfounded on the planet until the solar panels, I think, were carrying us over, and they have run out. So we have a couple of options. We can, and there's a drone that has run out of electric charge. I think, oh dear, have all of these run out of electric charge as well? No, I think they are just sitting commanded by the drone hub. I think they're just idle. Drones won't receive any further instructions. Insufficient power. Okay, our power panels are back online. Let's see how is our power. Okay, power shortage. Yeah, we have got a lot of power shortage. Should we, if we turn off the dome? Yeah, that helps quite a bit. So we're also going to go in here and we're going to can we deactivate these buildings as well? And of course a hydroponics garden, because we're not going to need that just yet. And I think, yes, that has actually resolved the issue. Yeah, I was thinking about starting up some additional services before we get, and I have to switch off the mouse scrolling thing. Yeah, we need to get some additional batteries and perhaps some additional solar panels and wind turbines set up here as well. I think that we should have enough gaps in between. Oxygen supply tank. Obviously it's under electrical. Now we're going to get some more batteries set up in here. And the Dragon is ready. Dragon 1 is ready to lift off, I do believe. It is refueled. However, I would like to try and see if we can load it up with some precious metals or something, rare metals rather, before we do that. Let's just get some batteries thrown down here and try to start remedying our power issues. Seems like all of these things need servicing as well. The pipes, when they start to get corroded and kind of dusted over like that, it is a sure sign that they need some servicing. And perhaps building this dome has overworked our little drones and they are struggling. So we might as well get this RC transport working. I don't think this thing actually works on autopilot, even though I was attempting to get it to do such a thing. And there are some where is the RC transport? We'll get him into loading mode. Load resources. Perhaps this is not a resource deposit. Yeah, that's not a resource deposit. And well, these are definite resource deposits. Okay, so we're going to get the RC transport up here. We're going to load up on this. There we go. And we're also going to see where's our RC Explorer. I think it's time to get you back to the power grid. So we're going to drive you back here to this. How is our power overnight? Okay, so we still have a little bit of a deficit. Well, obviously we still have a bit of a deficit because we haven't upped our production. So let's get on with that now. Since we do have a lot of concrete, we may as well go with the wind turbines. And we're going to put them out like this. I shouldn't possibly probably have put that tower there. However, I've done that now, so I am going. It's not the most beautiful looking colony. So we are going to stick down a couple more of these turbines. We're going to actually make sure that they are close enough. Let's see, can we go we can go a little closer there. And I've just deselected it again. And there it is. There we go. I'm gonna queue up another one. Because we need to get power for our colonists. We can't have them arriving suffocating through lack of oxygen. We need to just get our infrastructure set up to accommodate them. I really wish I didn't have that scanning tower there. But I do. So I can't really do a hell of a lot about that now. Well, I suppose I could demolish it. And I think that I'm actually going to pop down another solar panel about here. They don't actually take a hell of a lot. I don't think they take any concrete at all to construct, in fact. And let's see. Yeah, they just require metals, which is kind of useful. So we may use them to boost power production during the day. And we may as well extend. Probably a little bit inefficient there. We could actually start coming out this way with our with our power lines and bring our grid a little bit closer to that's not going to work there. We could get a second bank of these turbines moving out this way, because we need to generate as much electricity. This thing costs a lot more electricity than I thought it was going to, and we need to get it set up in such a way that it is kind of running. Perhaps I will send back the Dragon 1 rather than leaving it on the surface. So we're going to take off in progress. Okay. Yes, our little drones are getting out. And no, I've hit the wrong button again. There we go. Just as night settles down on the surface of the planet, the first successfully refueled rocket takes off, bound for the planet Earth. Speaking of rockets, I wonder how this one is doing. We are a bit of a ways off refueling that one yet. So let's see, how's our power doing now. Okay, so we do have a power surplus. We barely have a power surplus, but we do have a power surplus, and we're actually starting to store some power again, which is pretty good. I'm going to actually jump in and see about turning these back on. Switch you on. I will switch you on. Aurora 1. And we're still having a shortage of power. So yeah, we're going to need just a couple of more wind turbines over here in our little wind farm. That should hopefully do it as soon as they are constructed. We're going to see as they come along, as they come online. I think with that solar panel, with that additional solar panel, as long as they are all connected, there is a connection problem here. A malfunction. One of our buildings has malfunctioned. Which building is it? The power accumulator. Yeah, I think they'll get to it once they've gotten the turbines up and running. And now we have a power surplus again. I think as long as we have a power surplus and can manage to store enough electricity over the course of a day, we may as well put another battery here in this area. This is kind of going to be our wind farm area, as if that wasn't obvious enough already, I suppose. And rather than probably be better to start spreading our colony out a little bit as well, and because this is a pretty tight-knit community and an asteroid strike would do a lot of damage. We're getting a lot of problems with stuff starting to run down at this stage, so it's going to be pretty important to get that. We actually need to get some research, or not research, we need to get some scans done as well before, so we may as well queue up this and this, this and this and this. Oh wow, we can queue up to 5 now. I think it used to be 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I don't know if that's something that we unlocked as part of our research or not, but it's incredible to have it. What an incredible canyon we have here too, or rather it's a crater. It'd be an interesting place to have something like a little resort or something, or a tourist attraction on the surface of the planet. We also have a explorer that we need to get back out exploring. Let's see, where's the best place to do that? Okay, yeah, I think we're gonna get him out and have a look at that, and there he goes, and you can actually see it from the map view as well. I do kind of like how I didn't at first when I saw how the map was done. I didn't actually like it, but it has definitely grown on me, and it definitely works. Okay, so that's the RC Explorer off, and look at our little busy little drones there. The colony's looking a little bit better. Our moisture vaporator there is back up and running. Our batteries are in. Well, at least we've got some of the new ones online now, which are doing pretty well. So we should have enough power to get us through the night. Power surplus of 16. Okay, I've got 600 stored. Okay, we seem to be finally getting power under control. What I'm wondering is whether or not it is too soon to begin getting our colonists out here. Building's not working for. Yeah, it's just our batteries. They are kind of reaching the end of their life. It would be worth probably getting another water tank as well, just because I don't want to leave my colonists thirsty when we launch them. Although we may as well. Available residents on Mars for rocket capacity is only 12 people on the rocket, so they're going to have plenty of space to live around. A passenger rocket will deliver colonists and a minimum food supply to Mars. Use review to inspect the traits of the arrivals. Okay, so our age groups. So we're not allowing children or seniors at this point. Okay, that's perfect, that suits me. Specialization. Do we want to get some specialists out here? We don't have a research lab set up. I think we're going to leave that for now. Flaws are important. So we don't want anyone with chronic conditions, lazy, so idiots, alcoholics. I don't want any alcoholics either. That's dropping it down to 64. Don't think we want these negative flaws, a lot of them. I think we can deal with a gambler. Melancholic. Loners are pretty decent. Loses comfort every day while living in a dome with a population over 30. That's not going to be an issue for now. We're just going to leave that as is. And obviously cowards probably wouldn't get on the rocket. Quirks. Tourist, yeah, we don't want any tourists yet. Vegans, I mean, it would help because we do just have a hydroponics garden. And it would probably, don't worry, they will tell you. I shouldn't laugh. Guru randomly spreads other traits of this colonist person in the same dome with less than 3 traits. I don't actually know what Guru actually gives us. Okay, I think we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to go back. No, I think I'm going to go back for a moment. No, I'm going to launch. I'm going to go ahead and launch.
Our initial spectrographic analysis confirmed it. Chromium. To find such a rich deposit of such a rare metal. Important was an understatement.
The geological team couldn't wait to get their hands on the samples, but this is going to prevent the engineering team from smelting the materials for their ceaseless operations. The experts at Mission Control argued for hours, but the course of action was clear. So we can either study the chromium deposit, which is going to give us a 10% engineering boost, or we're going to exploit it as a rare metals deposit. Because of where we are at the moment, engineering research boost 10%, we're going to study it. To hell with it. I know we're trying to build a colony and we need funds for that, but at the same time, we do need to get ourselves. Yeah, I'm going to stick a brand new water tank there as well. We were going to launch our rocket of passengers out here to Mars. We're just going to go for it. So that rocket is on the way, whether we are ready or not. So Dragon 1. Okay, it doesn't show up here. I assume that it's on the way. Normally it does show up there. Okay, yeah. Basically, yeah. Okay, so the rocket is on the way because we are only allowed to launch so many passengers at a time. Okay, so that's our RC rover. I'm going to select him again, or rather our RC Explorer. We're going to get him in there to have a look at that. I wonder if we can actually queue these up. Holding shift maybe or something and get him to run to a few. Although it would be better to keep an eye on him because of course he does need to and I've done it again. I've clicked in the wrong place, which is wasting power by having him drive all over the planet. So yes, our colonists are on the way. Did I reactivate everything in here? Because when they arrive, they will of course be getting to work. I think I deactivated that as well. We have a grocer. Is there anything else that we actually need inside our dome? Security station? Not really. We do need some recreational space. And I think
sector scan.
The place to put that is going to be there, so we're going to pop a little gym in there. And anything else interesting that we could build just to keep our colonists happy. So we do have an infirmary, a space bar. It would help with social.
Research complete.
Oh wow, that's actually quite big. I'm wondering, is there anything we need a little bit more critically than that? We may go with a... Okay, so we need electronics to keep that going. Yeah, we probably do have electronics. We have 24 electronics. Should we build a research lab? We may as well build a small research lab. Why not? This is probably going to throw our power systems out of whack once again. What is the problem with these polymers? Okay, we are missing polymers, which probably means, that these aren't going to get taken care of anyway. Let's see if we can figure out how to build a polymer factory. We need a prefab for this because we haven't researched it yet. Okay. It looks like we may be calling out for another rocket. So that's what's delaying the repairs to the batteries and the construction of the new batteries. So is this using polymers? This isn't using polymers. We need to get polymers out here. We need polymers. polymers. I actually thought at the start of the episode that the dome was going to consume all of our polymers, but it seemingly hasn't. Let's take a look and see if we can get a resupply mission, a cargo mission out here. So we're going to need, obviously, polymers. And money's starting to get a little bit tight. Actually, maybe prefab buildings, a polymer factory, okay, which is costing us 300 million. We're going to go back, we're going to have a look and see if we can get some polymers aboard as well. So that's bringing us down quite low indeed, although we did start off with only 6 billion, or was it 60 billion? I honestly can't remember how much we started off with. We're definitely not going to need some orbital probes, and we have plenty of concrete. We still have 38,000 tons to play with. I think we're just going to launch that rocket because we're going to need that stuff out here pretty soon, because all of our equipment is starting to fail and we can't repair it because we need polymers. Drones can repair with polymers, yeah. Okay, so with our colonists on the way out to a less than perfect space colony on the surface of Mars, and the sun setting, or is the sun rising? No, the sun is actually rising. I think anyway that this is a perfect time for me to call the episode. I'm going to say thank you very much for tuning in. You have been watching Bloomer Brown on YouTube, and I will see you next time.